All right. Well, yeah. Well, at first, today is the first time that I am going to read something in English, and the book is wait. The book is Heaven for from Mieko no by Mieko Murakami. I I read this book uh, 7 months ago, so this book isn't new for me. So, but in this time I am going to read in English, so that's new for me, and I hope that my pronunciation and intonation uh, will be correct. I don't know what am I saying, but I'm going to start. I am going to no. I'm going to start. I will start, but for this time I am going to read only for 20 minutes. That's the shift. No, half. 20 minutes first. So right now are 3:37. So I have to finish at 3 with 77, 57. So start. Chapter 1. Today, toward the end of April between classes, I amnesied my pencil case and found a folded triangle of paper between the pencils. I unfolded it to see what was inside. We should be friends. That's all it said. Thin letters that looked like little fish bones, written in mechanical pencil. I quickly folded it up and slid it back into my pencil case, taking a breath. I paused a second before looking around the rooms as casually as possible. The same group of classmates joking around the hallway. The usual break between classes. I tried to calm myself down by repeatedly straightening in my textbook and notebooks. Then I sharpened a pencil, taking my time. Before long, the bell rang for a third period. Chair legs stretched across the floor. The teacher walked into the room and class began. The note had to be prank, but I had no idea why these guys would try something so subtle after all this time. I shaded my mind, sadly into the usual darkness. Only that first note was left inside my pencil case. After that, we were taped on the inside of my desk, clinging to on their side, where my hand would easily detect them. Wherever I found a note, wherever I found a note. First, I am going to check if I am recording this shit. Yes, I am recording. I am recording. Yeah. Only that first note was left inside my pencil case. After that, they were taped onto the inside of my desk, clinging to the underside, where my hand would easily detect them. Whatever, I found a note. I got ghost bobs. I scanned the classroom, careful not to get caught, but it always felt like somebody noticed my reaction. I was overtaken by a strange anxiety, and at a loss for how to act. What we are doing yesterday, when it was raining, if you could go to any country in the world, where would you do? Where would you go? Pieces of paper, the size of postcards with simple questions written on them. I always went to the bathroom to read them. I've thrown them away, but unable to decide where. I ended up stuffing them behind the dark blue cover of my planner. Nothing seemed different after the note started. Almost every day, Ninomiya and the others made me carry their backpacks, or kicked me like it was nothing, or walked in my head with their recorders, or made me run around from them. But the notes kept showing up, and the message grew longer. They never used my name, and they were never signed. But when I took a good look at the handwriting, I started wondering if maybe it wasn't Ninomiya or any of those guys, but someone else entirely. But I knew it was a dumb idea, and all my other thoughts crowded that one out of my mind, leaving me feeling even worse. All the same, checking each morning for a new note became my little ritual. I started coming in early, when there was no one in the classroom, and it was quiet. I found the smell of oil in the air. It made me feel good to read those little letters. I never lost sight of the possibility that this might be a trap, but something in tooth notes made me feel safe. However, uh, rightly, even with all my distress. At the start of May, just before vacation, I got a note saying, "I want to see you. Meet me after school. I'll be there from 5 to 7." From 5 to 7. There was a date and a simple hand-drawn map. I could hear my heart growing in my ears. I read the note so many times that I could see the words before me. Even when I closed my eyes, I spent the rest of the day wondering what to do and thought of nothing else during the recess, to the point that my head started to hurt and I lost my appetite. There was no doubt in my mind that when I showed up at the spot, Ninomiya and the others would be there waiting, ready to deliver the bidding of a lifetime. Seeing me show up, they'd circle around and reveal their lasted game at my expense. Things were only going to get worse, but I couldn't just forget it. When the day came, there was nothing I could do to settle it down. The whole day in class, I kept an eye on Ninomiya and his friends, as best I could, but I couldn't detect any significant change in their behavior. Eventually, one of them noticed and said, "Hey, what are you looking at?" And whipped one of his classroom slippers at me. It smacked me in the face, then dropped to the floor. He told me to pick up, so I did. By the end of the day, I was so worked up that I was feeling queasy. As soon as last period was over, I ran almost all the way home. As I was running, I asked myself if I was really going. What the hell? What the what the hell I was doing? But no matter how I thought in throat, I couldn't say for sure. I had the feeling that anything I chose to do would turn out wrong. When my mom saw me come home, she said he from the couch where she was sitting and then turned back to the TV. I say hi back. And my voice on the TV was delivering the news. It was the only sound in the house. Every room was quiet, same as always. "I've been in the kitchen all day," my mom said. I grabbed the carton of grape food juice from the fridge, poured a glass, and drank it at the counter. My mom looked over and told me to drink it at a table. A few seconds later, I heard the sound of fingernails, or maybe toenails, being clipped. "Do you mean making dinner? Can you smell it?" My first thought was tied to with a string. I wondered if my dad was actually coming home for once, but decided not to ask. "You want to eat soon?" "No, I need to go to the library for a bit. Later is fun. It's fine." My town has a big tree lane, a street that goes on 4 blocks and blocks. This is the road I took to school. To get the meeting place, you turn left actually halfway down to the street with the trees onto the side street leading to a sandy lot that barely qualified as a park. Since I have left the house at 4, there was no one at the spot when I arrived. I took the chance to catch my breath. Where was a kind of bench made from tires on their side, and the concrete wall, that between them a sandbox, not much bigger than the mattress, littered with candies wrapped and plastic bags. Among the trash, I could make all these dry clumps of dog or cat crap. The way the sun stuck to them, they most looked like tempera. I tried to count the individual nuggets, but new ones kept popping up. The whole sandbox was probably full of them. Then it hit me. However, whoever called me here might force me to eat them. The back of my throat burned. Emptied my lungs in the attempt to make the taste of the crab go away, but the thought alone made me sick. The mouth of the whale was big enough for two peoples, my size to fit inside. The paint had worn away so much you couldn't tell what color it used to be. People had taken its back and its head with permanent marker, the lot filling the shadow of old apartment complex, and the ground was almost black, like something rotting. I had some time to kill, so I walked to the tree-lined street. I sat down on a metal bench, let out a huge sigh, breath in slowly. I kept thinking how it make a mistake coming here, but if I hadn't, and Ninomiya and the others didn't get their way, I'd pay for it in the end. I told myself it didn't really matter what I did. Nothing would change. Sighed again and looked up, feeling a little dazed. No long ago, the trees were just a bunch of black trunks, but now their leaves were showing, and when the wind blew you could hear them rustle. I took off my glasses and rubbed my eyes, then looked up the street again. As usually, the world was flat and lacking depth. My eyes took me in the scenery like a postcard, but when I blinked, it slipped from view, replaced by the newest isn't. A little while later, still basically unable to think, I returned to the spot. I saw someone sitting on the chairs with her back to me, a girl in her school uniform. This was a surprise. I looked around the lot from somebody else, but there was no sign of any more. I approached for cautiously when I stopped near the mouth of the whale. She heard my footsteps and turned to face me. It was Kojima from class. She stood up and looked me over, dropping her chin slightly. I did the same. The latter, Kojima was short, with kind of dark skin. She never talked at the school. Her shirt was always wrinkled, and her uniform looked old. She never stood up straight. She had tons of hair, and it was totally black, so thick it never fell flat. The ends shot out in every direction. She had this dark spot under her nose, like dirt or maybe hair, and she got made fun for it. The girls in class picked on her for being poor and dirty. I didn't think you'd come, Kojima lied, smiled uneasily where you were out. I couldn't think of what to say, so I shook my head. For a minute both of just stood there silently. Sit down, Kojima said. I nodded and tried, but I couldn't sit right on the chairs. It knows like I have something to tell you. I just thought we should talk. The two of us, honestly, I felt like we both needed it. I guess I felt that way for a long time now. Kojima stamped every few words. I believe this was the first time I had heard her voice, the first time I had ever seeing her face straight on. It was also the first time I had ever talked like this with a girl. My palms were moist, it was sweaty all over. I didn't know where it was safe to look. I'm glad you came. Her voice was high or low, but it was firm, like there was something at its center, holding it together. I kept on nodding. Kojima noticed my same resort. You know the same of this park? I shook my head. Whale Park, see? The whale is right there. Well, I guess I'm the only who called it that. She laughed. I admire myself saying it. Whale Park. Like I said, I've wanted to talk for a while. That's why I wrote you two letters. But I didn't think you'd really come. I'm kind of in shock right now. She was rubbing her nose and speaking faster than before I noted at this. I want to be friends, she said, looking at me. I mean, if you're okay with that. I didn't understand what she was saying, but I agreed. I felt a surge of misgivings. What did it mean for us to be friends? What was friends supposed to do? I couldn't bring myself to ask. Sweat dripped down my back. Kojima smiled. She looked really happy to hear my answer. She let out of breath and told me she was glad. Then she stood up from their chairs and brushed off their back of her skirt with both hands. Her skirt had these huge creases crossing the line of the pleats. The pockets of her blazer were bulging with that looked like a scrap of tissue. Happy mind, she sounded like she was sighed, but never broke her smile as she looked down at her feet. In my head, I was like, what happened? What? Wanted to ask her what she said, but I wasn't sure of then or how to ask. I wound up saying nothing. Can I write your another letter? Yeah, I said. My voice cracked. My face was hot. And give it to you? Yeah, I noted. You'll write back? Yeah, I said. This time I spoke at the right volume. What a relief. We stood there for a while, not saying anything. I could hear crows crowing somewhere far away. Bye. Kojima smiled and looked at me, then gave me a teeny wave, spun around. We booked it up the side the street leading to the street of trees. She didn't look back, not even once. In my eyes, it looked like they were two of her, almost overlapping, getting smaller and smaller. I wasn't sure how long you were supposed to watch someone walk away, but I watched until I couldn't see her anymore. I could still see the square bottom of her skirt swim like something heavy, swaying the backs of her calves, even after she had completely disappeared. The bulky action of her skirt stayed with me. Not so fast, Ace. Class was over, but I turned around because I had no choice, as rotten as I felt. One of Ninomiya's friends grabbed me by the neck and dragged me back into the classroom. This happened all the time. Ninomiya was in the middle of the room, sitting on a desk. That was his style. When he noticed me, he laughed. He then said, "Hey, buddy." He told me to shove a stick of chalk up my nose and draw something hilarious on the blackboard. With it, something which does make them shit their pants. His friends all cracked up. One of them dragged me to the blackboard, and the rest of them circled around to watch. I'd known Ninomiya since elementary school. Even then, he was the center of attention. He was the best athlete in our grade, but he also got straight, and he had a chiseled face that anybody would consider beautiful. We were all supposed to wear a navy sweater, but they wore whatever color he wanted. His hair came down to his shoulder. His older brother, 3 years ahead of us, was even more popular. The two of them were school celebrities. Ninomiya gave off a special odor. There was always a crowd of kids who wanted to be friends with him. When He entered middle school. He started wearing his hair tied back and making girls loud with his jokes. But it was just the girl. When Ninomiya told a joke, everyone who heard it loud. He was always at the top of the class and took level classes after school while the rest of us were struggling with our homework. None of us could keep up with him, not even the teachers. Hurry up! I stopped there, paralyzed and silent. You never learn, you do? We've been doing this how many years now? Ninomiya threw up his hands in disgust. His friends doubled over laughing. They couldn't get enough of this. What when I saw Momose standing with his arm crossed, a little behind the wall of kids? Momose had showed up in middle school. His grades were just as good as Ninomiya's, and I heard they went to the same advanced after school classes. I had never exchanged words with Momose. He was always with Ninomiya, but he never said much, and I never saw him get worked up like the rest of the kids, for a reason I didn't understand. He watched gym class from the bleachers, while he was no match for Ninomiya. He had a face that anyone would describe as so handsome, and both of them were at the least from inches taller than me. Momose always had this expression that told you nothing about what he was thinking. He never bullied me directly, he just stood off to the side, crossed his arm, and stared. We've got places to be, said Nomiya. Well, have to save your masterpiece for another day. Make all three pieces of chalk disappear, and you can go. Ninomiya told the others to stick two of the pieces of chalk up my nose. He waved the third piece in front of me like sardine and said, "Come on, guys, where's you please and thank you?" He kicked me right in the knee with the instep on his foot. Wherever they were kicking or punching or pushing me, Ninomiya and his friends were careful not to even leave a mark. When I got home, I saw I had no bruises. I always wondered where they could have learned this kind of trick. They kicked me in the knees and thighs, but never hit the same place twice. One of them booted me in the chest, like he was checking to see how soft I was. They pushed me, threw me into a wall, I straight and crashed into a desk. Happens all the time. I told myself, it's nothing. Happens. I wait for it to end, pulling me up by my hair. They forced the chalk out my nose and made me eat the other piece. Pies. I ate with my front teeth. Ninomiya and his friends just watched it louding like crazy. Thus far I had been forced to swallow pond water, toilet water, a goldfish, and crabs of vegetables from the rabbit cage, but this way was my first time eating chocolate. It has no smell or taste. They yelled at me to chew faster. I closed my eyes and I broke the chalk apart inside my mouth. Pieces scrubbed the inside of my cheeks. My job was to keep my mouth moving and to swallow. So I swallowed, chalk cooked the inside of my mouth, and did this for all three pieces. Of one of them yelled, "Lemonade, lemonade," and brought me a plastic cup streaked with a paint and full of a dairy milky liquid. Chalk dust dissolved in water, pushed it against the wall, cup pressed into my face. I drank it all. As the liquid traveled down my throat, I felt the urge to vomit, and the next thing I knew I had thrown everything up. Tears and spit dripped from my nostrils and my eyes. Dry heaving, both hands on the floor. One of the guys asked me what the hell I was doing, and stepped back. But the clapping, cheering, pressed my face into the mess and said, "Clean, clean it up." Everyone was smiling, laughing. That was the first day I brought back to Kojima. I had never written anyone a letter, and I had no idea what to say or how to say it. But with my fresh light, sharpened pencil, I wrote whatever came to mind, then erased most of it, until finally I had something I could keep. Try as might, I could never seem to fill more than a single page. We only ever wrote about unimportant things, but over time we came to understand each other. To make sure no one saw me, I showed up the school before anyone else and stuck my note inside Kojima's desk. The morning after that, I would pick up her reply and read it in the bathroom. We never made a rule about it, but neither of us said a word about school or being bullied. When I finished a letter, I took off my glasses and held the paper close to my left eye so I could read the words I wrote. Reading them gave me a headache, but only on one side of my head. I had a lazy eye. What my right eye struggled to see was part of what I left eye saw, because everything had this blurry, double, nothing had any depth, and I had a hard time touching things even when they were right in front of me. I would miss. It didn't matter if I used a fingertips or my whole hand. I was never certain that I was touching the right thing or touching it the right way. This is the letter, so I am going to read. Oh shit! Wait. Well, the the good thing is that I remember the right way, so I am going to read to you the letter. That's the letter, right? Hi Kojima, I read your letters a bunch today. Today you are using an elementary. What's it called? Okay. Ya, está bien. Hi Kojima, I read your letters a bunch today. You are using a mechanical pencil, right? I use regular one. To answer your last question, I guess my hobby is reading, but I don't know if I have a favorite book or type of book. Talk to you soon. Hey, thanks for your letter. I rained so hard today. It was so loud under my umbrella. I thought this was about to rip. On my way home, by the Jacoma building, a huge truck drove through and puddled and splashed water all over me. It was like something from a manga. If it was, what do you think the speech bubble would say? Maybe I suck at it, but I like writing letters. I'm excited to get your next note. Hello, it's night time and the wind is blowing like crazy. I think writing is hard. It's probably harder than talking. Maybe I'll get better if I practice. I'm trying. I've been sitting at my desk for over an hour and this is all I've managed to write. Talk to you soon. Hey again. Thanks for your letter. My midterm came back and I am devastated. I barely passed. I won't ask you what you got, but I'm sure you did way better than me. Oh yeah, your speech bubble idea was super funny. If another truck rushes by and splashes me again, that's what I'm going to say. By the way, this is my second time trying to write this letter today. The first time didn't work out, so I gave up and started sewing. Nothing too advanced, just a little crossing stitching. I really wanted to make a caution cover, but I didn't have a caution. So I forgot I had to see these small flowers shaping things. I really like making stuff like that. My hobbies right now are writing letters and sewing. Can't wait for you next letter. Hi, how are you? How are you? I said in my last letter that I was having trouble writing in my own voice. I think I know why it's my pencil. My pencil. I like C6B pencil because they almost never snap. When I was writing, I realized something. Your voice reminds me of a 6B. I'm not sure if this is going to make sense, but it's like they are soft and rigid at the same time, also unbreakable. Sorry for not making sense, just thought I'd give it a try. It's 8:30 at night. I have to do my geography work, homework. Bye for now. Hello, hello. Good evening. Good evening. Well, I bet it's morning. By the time you read this, how's the weather over there? It's raining where I am. It's not supposed to be this is raining in May, but it is. Yeah, it's raining. More importantly, thought, how many times do you have to ask you to tell me what books you like? Is it a big secret? I've never read a whole books for fun, so I was just curious. I've read. Let's see. Oh wait, in elementary school I read some Chinese story book that we had on the borrow a bookshelf. I can't believe I just remembered that. If I had written you this letter, I would never have remembered that. By the way, I wanted to ask you, what is it you like about reading? I forgot to ask before. Do you think it's fun? Language class is enough reading for me. But tell me if you ever find something interesting. My heart is just like what you said about your home. So boring. It's funny when you but I'm doing nothing. I get this feeling like I'm fighting something, stuck fighting. It never goes away. Even when I'm in bed, even when I'm walking around. There's a year and a half left of middle school, but if everything goes smoothly, we have 3 more years of high school after that. We'll be going to the same thing for years. Don't you think that's weird? I do. What do you think the future is going to be like? I think about that stuff a lot. What if the world really ends in 1999, like everyone says? But if it doesn't, nothing's gonna change that, right? Hey, I have an idea. You can tell me if you don't like it. I almost don't what to say it, but I'm going to do. What if we met up again on the second in the second Wednesday of next month? Next month. It was a Wednesday. The other day when we met at a whale park. It can be our day. If you don't like the idea, you better keep it to yourself. Just kidding, you can tell me. Right back. Hello, today felt like summer. I can't believe May is already over. Thanks for the pad of paper. By the way, it's great. I'll use it when I'm done with the ones I'm using now. Thanks for saying yes to meeting in the fire stairwell. I don't know how to put it, but I think we'll be more comfortable up there. It's quiet and it has a nice breeze. No one will bother us. Just taking the elevator all the way to the top. Open the door on the right, you'll see the stairs. You see what I mean? I'll be waiting there on Wednesday, 2 weeks from now. I'm looking for what to eat. See you soon. I was thinking of Kojima in a completely different way. Not like it was anything new, but it got harder and harder for me to watch and listen to the other girls in our class bullying her, just like it was stressful knowing that Kojima watched me being bullied. I didn't want to hear them, but we were all in the same room, and my ears couldn't block them out. I didn't want to see it, but I couldn't keep my eyes closed to them. I was eyes. They called me over and made me do random things, or knowed me down, or made me run for a life around the track or recess while they watched me from inside. Ninomiya's his friends laughed at me as usual from the windows. They called Kojima husband and said they smelled like fish or worse. I watched them send her to the store. I saw them quick at her same way they kicked me. Once I saw them yell, "Time for bed," and drank her head in the fish tank. In their notes, Kojima was energetic, and alive, an entirely different person from the girl I saw in class. Whenever I saw things happen to her, I got the sharp pain in my chest, but as bad as it hard, there was nothing I could do. I didn't watch her knowing that I saw her. I had to look away, pretending not to watch. So I am going to finish. No, I finish right here. So I don't know. I want to say more words in English, more phrases in English, but I have to practice a lot. But I have time. I know I have my whole life to learn English. So with patience and small steps, I am going to learn English and speak fluency and all that shit. But that's for other video. So see you tomorrow to continue the reading. Heaven of by Mieko Murakami.